Yeah, the tongue out Arini style. As we move to 149, as we've got Stanford and North Carolina featured, both of them with impressive records.
Yeah, this should be a really interesting match. Both of these guys have been All-Americans. Lachlan McNeil, two-time All-American at 141 pounds, coming up to 149. Jaden Abbas was an All-American as a freshman. He's looking to get back into that form in this weight.
So I was fortunate enough to spend some time recently out in San Jose with my close friend Daniel Cormier. And while I was there, I was at Daniel Cormier's Wrestling Academy. Who helps coach there is Jerry Abbas, Jaden's father. I ran into Jerry prior to this round, and I asked him, what adjustments are you going to make going into this match? He said, well, I'm going to keep them close to my heart. All I can say, though, is that when it comes to scrambling, a good scrambler does not scramble just to scramble. They scramble to get out of the position and to score, and that's something we're going to focus on going into this matchup.
Abbas pinning Pitt Solomon in 2:38 to advance to the semifinals. Meanwhile, we watched Lachlan McNeil put on a display, a tech fall in 4:47, 19-4 over Sean O'Donnell.
Yeah, that was a real technical masterclass. McNeil just attacking the body in multiple ways, really getting his body just going, working through different positions.
Oh, it was a catch and release and crush show.
But you see that more and more, right? McNeil's a guy who has not only now collegiate experience, but international experience and success on the international stage. And those guys take this and they go, I can wrestle grown men that are the most successful in the world and be dominant there. I'm going to take this back and wrestle kids my own age and be able to do the exact same thing.
So well said, Jacob.
Well, unfortunately, I was on the receiving end of it from Kyle Snyder a couple times. So.
We've talked about with McNeil, he's got a great relationship with his coaching staff, and you know, he takes direction really well. He'll snap his head towards the corner, he'll score. He really follows that game plan well.
As we see Tony Ramos and Ben Darmstadt in the corner there for McNeil. Ben Darmstadt's an Ohio guy who I actually had the pleasure of coaching at Fargo a couple times. He won a couple national titles for us. And then Tony Ramos, obviously national champ at Iowa. So those are two good guys to have in your corner to listen to.
Darmstadt's college career unfortunately impacted by some injuries, given the type of talent he had in the top position. Was once #1 guy in the country at 197 pounds.
I mean this with all pun intended. He was an assassin, Rhino.
Yes, he was.
Speaking of assassins, Jacob, I went to high school with Mark the Hammer Coleman.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a legend.
Right?
That is a legend through and through, and a guy who's not only battled, inside the octagon and on the collegiate wrestling mat, but also with some adversities in life. I think he was involved in a fire recently. And
saved his mom and dad's life.
What a hero through and through. That's amazing.
No scoring in this period, but it's been very physical. A lot of hard clubs from Abbas. McNeil's been stalking forward.
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got to see much of what Jerry Abbas was alluding to about limiting these scrambles, because we haven't gotten a position to that yet. But I'm looking forward to that. At some point in this match, someone's going to find themselves deep in on a leg, and we'll see if, kind of what he alluded to outside comes into play here.
We'll have to see it in the second through one. No score here. Semifinals at 149, where, once again, 4 NCAA qualifiers, 38 guaranteed. We have been speculating a little bit, Jacob, but how many at large the ACC gets. But they usually get minimum of 3, sometimes 5 or 6.
Yeah, and having talked to Coach Lanham earlier this week, there's a couple weights where the auto allocations don't match the seeds. You have a guy that's a lower seed who actually is the one who got the auto allocation for the weight. So you'd like to think a couple more are coming down the pipe for the conference there.
Yeah, we've seen some bid thieves in other conferences, so you don't want to be one of those guys sitting on the outside right now, but hopefully for the conference we get some of those guys who earn their way and get to perform in Philadelphia and show what their hard work has been for.
Yeah, I can tell you, I was one that never wanted to leave my fate or my destiny in someone else's hands come March. I wanted to make sure I punched my own ticket and did the bidding for myself come this point of the season, because you never truly know. Especially yesterday, across the college wrestling landscape, there were multiple returning national champions that went down.
Yeah, tons of upsets,
Yeah.
Jacob.
Top 3 guys at 141 all went down.
That's a big escape for McLaughlin here to send this as 1-0 with 38 seconds of riding time. Again, every single point, every single second matters. The edges matter. In March, you just can concede nothing and try to take everything from everybody.
Lachlan McNeil with a 1-0 lead over Jaden Abbas.
He's starting to really put some more forward pressure and kind of heat up his feet. We saw Abbas coming forward a bit more in the first period. Now he's the one kind of moving backwards a bit.
And I apologize to Lachlan McNeil. The red eye got the better of me there as I butchered his name on broadcast. But Dean, you are an amazing partner. I appreciate you catching that and glossing over it for me. I wish I had a voice like you for this.
You're so kind, my man.
See, this is a position that, you know, Nick Wisdowski actually helped me better understand after my college career. You'll see them go forehead to forehead a lot for head position. That actually isn't where you want to be. You actually want your temple looking into their ear hole. And at that point, you limit the offense that they're able to get off, and you're able to open up both sides of the body for your own. And it wasn't, again, something that I understood until after my college career, but now I see it in striking and MMA. You know, I see it, and I preach it to all my guys that I coach, but it's a big, big difference. And if one of those guys could really dig for better head position, I think you're going to see more offensive attacks get off.
Yeah, these little angles, the physics of it for us nerds, but exactly. You want to cut off the defensive opportunities for people and put more of that pressure on.
Right to that tripod. He's controlling the inside hand the best he can, and he should be out. Yep.
Here we go.
That was
Tied
really
at
nice
one.
job by Abbas.
Hopefully one of these guys get to implore that, you know, advice that we gave him on head positioning here, and we can get a good attack off and see a little bit of that scrambling that I've been preaching about.
We're going to see these guys start to really go.
I feel like we saw a big grin from Lachlan McNeil after that shot from Jaden. He's into it.
Oh, they're dancing a little bit. They're playing a little bit. This is beautiful to see two artists at their craft.
A stall on McNeil, that.
They might get it right back here. Nope, wrestled through the edge.
That one stuns me a little bit. He's been kind of back to the center, putting pressure on. We've seen a lot of ankle pick attempts from Abbas, but it's really been McNeil dictating the pace and kind of the center of the mat so far. You know, looking like a freestyle wrestler. And he gets it right back. Good call by Jacob Casper. He's trying to get these guys going.
Hey, I love action, I love performance, and I like putting on a show, and these guys are doing an amazing job of it. Sometimes the score does not dictate how much action there has been or how much jockeying for position, and it's difficult for an outside eye to catch it, but these guys are quite literally playing chess in front of us and not checkers with this positioning.
They truly are.
Exactly. You've seen them change their feet position, trying to bait an attack as they switch feet to go to attack.
There it is. Wow.
That was a good look by Abbas.
All right, we're gonna need a little extra wrestling here.
And I was just going to say, both of these guys don't seem phased right now. They both seem to be in great shape. Usually you can tell if one guy's dragging a little bit. You'll see a little bit of a sock pull, but you don't see any of that right now. These are two guys on the line ready to go.
Absolutely. Good position. Neither guy's really breathing heavy, and they've been working hard the past minute and a half.
I have a feeling, Dean, kind of what I said earlier, and I might stick my foot in my mouth on this. Half the battle is going to be getting in on the leg, and I think the other half is going to be to finish this shot. We haven't really seen anyone deep on an attack yet, but I'm not convinced the first one we see is... Oh.
Anticipated the roll through, and McNeil uses the underhook throw by to end up in the finals.
He bypassed the legs altogether.
Gonna get a good look at it here. Throw by, Abbas goes cartwheel, and McNeil just let him go by and covered his hips, and he's in the finals, and you'll see him in Philadelphia.
He's a postseason phenom. He just always brings it in the postseason.
He really does. He'll take losses